What's up? I'm back. Today is the video that y'all all been waiting on, which I really don't know why. I don't know why it's such a thing because, it's the door panels, but obviously everybody know that the door panel not going to bolt up to the Magnum door like factory. So, everything you're going to have to do, you're going to have to modify everything in a fashion just to make it fit. So that's basically all this is, and all I'm gonna show y'all on how I did it, on how I did this one. And everything on here works. The door open up, door close, the lock open up and unlock, the window go up and down. And about the windows going up and down, okay, which we'll get into it when I start on this door. It's different ways that you can wire the window motor. You could take the motor out, and put it inside the Magnum gearbox or whatever it is, like taking this apart and then doing it that way. I did that, and every time I did it on this passenger door, the motor was weak. Like the window would roll up real weak, and then it just stopped working. And so I said, forget that. And I just took the whole assembly off, and I put the whole Challenger assembly on, this whole thing on. And the one thing that this is reversed on there, so it's sitting up like this instead of like this. And so when you press the window, when you roll the window down, the window go up, and when you roll the window up, it go down. But it's got good power. Like it does it strong. So like I said, this is my car, and I really don't. I can live with it. So I'm gonna do the same thing to this side, in which I'll show y'all the other method too to get it work like saying Junkyard Dave do, but it just didn't work out for me. So yeah, but we're gonna start on this, and I'm gonna give y'all a run through real quick of everything of what you gonna need to even do this. Alright, first off, I got my door panel. I got it at the junkyard. I really just got this just so I can make this video, and I just want to put something on here in the meantime. Alright, and then you're gonna need, if you're gonna do it the good way, you're gonna need the actuator lock and all the door stuff. Okay, and you're gonna need these because these going into the door handles, this really not gonna work for you in there. So we're gonna take all that out, and we basically gonna strip the whole door, and we're only gonna leave all the window stuff, but everything else we're gonna strip, and we're gonna take that, the lock actuator and stuff out, and put the ones on from the Challenger. And if you can see off in there, it's a part of the lock actuator down there that we're gonna take the one off that leads to the outside door, so we're gonna use that and put that on the new lock actuator. And another thing, we're going to, let me show y'all, and I'm gonna show this to y'all so that y'all had an option to do it this way, but I'm not gonna do it this way, but you can if you can make it work. This is the door card that come out of the Charger. This the door card. They go on there like that, boom, and it basically hold everything on there. Really, you don't need this because the Magnum already didn't have one. So what I did on my passenger side is I took this, and I was gonna put the whole thing on there, but it really wasn't working out for me. So what I did was I cut the speaker out. And I mounted the speaker where the speaker go, and I didn't use no more of the rest of it because I already cut a big chunk of the door out, and it's really a pain trying to get this thing to fit. And so after we gut the door and we take everything off that we don't need, we're gonna cut a big chunk of this door out. So what I cut is I cut to about right here. I cut all of this down there, up there, and I cut this out. And the reason I did that, for one, this hump affects the door, the door panel sitting on there, and two, the charger doors, like I say, that card goes on there, and so all of this is open, and you really need it open like that. And cutting this right here gonna make it easier for you to get your window motor stuff together. So we're gonna go ahead and start by hold on. We're gonna start by taking everything out the door that we don't need. And my mirrors, as y'all know, I was gonna do the charger mirror swap, which I am still gonna do it, but for the time being, I'm gonna keep the factory Magnum mirrors. And I played around with it for like 5 minutes one day, and I know how to wire this up to where it works with the button and everything. So I'm gonna duplicate that on the passenger side too, because I actually started trying to swap the passenger side and it wasn't really working out for me. And so, yeah, come on, let's get to work. Okay, you see these two things right here? This you want to pop the metal pieces out of those two, and make sure you keep the metal intact, because you're gonna put them on the new one. These two right here, you'll see them when you're taking them out. And then just take this whole actuator off. Take all the wiring out and throw it away. All right, now we basically got the door empty, and so I'm gonna make my cuts now. Okay, now that we've cut our giant hole in the door, we can start going back with the wiring. Since we got everything out already that we need, we can go back with the wiring. And the first thing we're gonna do is, I guess I'll show y'all the trick I was talking about. Okay, this is the trick that I was referring to. So this is the stock Magnum little white thing. It came off the passenger side over there. So this is the stock Magnum one. And this is the Challenger motor. You see the prongs? It's the Challenger motor. What you could do is, it's got 4 screws on it. 1, 2, 3, 4. You could take this out of the Challenger motor and then put it on the Magnum, the Magnum box or whatever this is, and make it work that way. I did that on the passenger side. It worked a little bit. It went up real slow. It just didn't really work for me that good. So this is actually the two that I used too. This was the challenge one. This is the thing after I took it off the door. And you just put it in there. Just put it in there like that, boom, and it fit. And then, you know, you can go about it that way. But I see that we might have some issues with the driver's side, because the driver's side is not made up like the passenger side on that one. So no biggie, but yeah, so we might actually be fucked. I might have to try to do that little trick again, but on this side, because it wouldn't, I don't know why it wouldn't work on the other side. Damn. So I don't have, you see the way my motors are set up, it's not gonna go on there. I don't have a motor that would, these are all the ones I have, and none would work. Damn. So I guess y'all about to watch me do what I just said I didn't want to. I just unscrewed the 4 screws, and now I'm trying to get this out. And I'm trying not to break anything. Alright, boom. And now you got this out. Then you want to replace that with a Challenger one. Okay? And so that one came right on out pretty easily. So I know this one worked. I really don't want to do this because, like I just told y'all, the passenger side gave me so much trouble, and I finally got that side to work good. So I'm gonna do it. And when you're doing this, you gotta be real careful not to mess none of this stuff up and hit right in there. Basically gotta get it to pry off. Get this one on there the same way. Come on, out of there. Boom, I got it out. So I'm just gonna shove this in here and pray that it works. Hope everything works like it should. I don't know if this is supposed to be flipped on top or flipped on the bottom now, since I changed it, or not. But when we get back power to the car, I'll plug it up and see. And if I need to switch it, I'll switch it. I'm hoping it worked, like for real, because like I say, it hadn't been working since I did it the first time over there, and which now the passenger window works fine. So hopefully this works. And now after we do this, we're gonna put the door actuator back on. Alright, and now that's your window mode. Those are the things that I was showing y'all. This one and this one, they on the inside. Then you gotta make sure that you put them on so you can open up the door from the outside. And everything lined up. All the bolts on the door line up, so you just go right back with them. I made a little mistake. You have to remove this little black thing right here on here so that you can put the door thing on the other side. You need this to stay on though. Now the door opens and closes. Now, we basically got everything in there. We basically got all the wiring done. Cause all you gotta do now is just plug stuff up. We're gonna plug our thing up. Boom. It's not lighting up right now. And like I told y'all, I did figure how to wire these up. I didn't have the blue one hooked up to nothing though. I got a picture. White goes to, and then orange goes to this blue. Yeah, I didn't have enough for this blue one. I did have 2 grounds though coming out of here. So maybe this blue one get a ground. I don't know. But I'm gonna leave it off for now. It's not working, guys. The mirror is working. Okay, I'm back just approximately 10 days, maybe a week and a half later. And a lot has happened, but we back to finish the door panel. Progress is still the same from where we left off. I made one minor adjustment, and it's the window. So I couldn't get the window motor to do what I wanted it to do, the way I was showing y'all, the Junkyard Dave way. And so what I did was, you see this hole right here? I drilled another hole slightly lower. And the same thing right here, I drilled another hole in the bracket right here, slightly lower. And I bolted the OEM Challenger window motor to it. And it works like a charm. Let me show y'all. But you gotta close the door for the windows to work. I don't know if that's a Challenger thing or not. But it's got auto too. So yeah, it works just fine, just like that. And yeah, you can choose to do it that way or not. But that's how I did it, and it's simpler and it worked for me. So now y'all see we got all this cut out, and like I said, a lot has transpired since I started the video, and I have acquired all of the door panels needed to finish this. I have wrapped certain portions of the door panels, give it a little flare and to match the seats a little bit. And so yeah, this is like suede red, and I wrapped them door handles and the little arm bar. And the passenger side is not wrapped because I didn't take it off to wrap it, but that side is fully finished. Today we're gonna be doing the door panel prep. So we're gonna flip it over. It's a few things you gotta do on the back of the door panel to make this work. So first thing is you're gonna need to take all of these out. Take all of these out, cut these knobs off, or you could drill holes to make those knobs fit. And I cut these off, cut these little white pieces off to make it a smoother and flusher fit. Definitely take these brackets off. And the window sill gonna be on here. I already took the window sill off. Take the window sill off as well. show y'all something. Okay, so we got the door card, and this is what we're gonna use to mount the speaker and the door module. And we're gonna cut this in half, not in half, but like a quarter way, because we're not gonna use all of this. Okay, I cut this out, and I'm gonna place it in the door. I'm actually gonna place it behind. Since this wasn't gonna be seen, I literally just self-tapped it in there. Y'all see the speaker mount is on and it's out of the way. Now we're finna test fit the door, and I cut the notch out right here a little bit. Give it a little extra more room. So let's get this on. And I'm gonna have to trim this a little bit too. So I'm gonna make that mark right now. Self-tap. I'm gonna screw it in. And I'm gonna use these rib nuts to make holes in the door. So I'm gonna hit probably about right there. 2 on this side, 2 on that side, and 3 on the bottom. So I'm gonna cut that. Okay, so after all the prep, you can get in. Basically, after you cut everything off the back of the door will sit flush. Your only thing that you gotta be mindful of is the speaker thing. Make sure that it's in far enough that it's not stopping the door panel from sitting flush. Alright, so I only got 1 screw in the door, and it's this one right here. And that's because you want to get in, and like this screw not necessary right now, but you get in and line the door up where you want the door. This is where I want my door lined up at. So I close the door, boom, and then everything lined up, I screwed it in right here. Boom, boom, self-tapped it in. And I open the door from the outside. Okay, and now this is a starting place for you to start and make minor adjustments. Alright, so I want mine more right there. See, I gotta scoot the speaker thing in a little more so that it's not in the way of this going down. And the door lock, I need to trim it down a little bit more. Like trim it down a little bit more so it won't get caught on that. So those are the 2 adjustments I'm about to make now. Now I'm finna put the door on and self-tap it everywhere where I want the screws to go. So putting this in this hole. Well, actually, first thing we can do is put this in. Okay, so I self-tapped it everywhere where I wanted to put my screws for my rib nuts. And so y'all see, open, close. Now, I did a Challenger swap, so y'all probably won't have this problem, but you see the space. So I'm gonna have to do something. I'm gonna figure that out. I'm gonna figure out what I'm gonna do about that space. And so yeah, I'm gonna finish this, pull the cords out, plug the light up under the bottom. Alright, now that I got all my holes drilled, I bought these little black screws to go into the hole. So they black, so it'll be kind of like not real noticeable. And so now I just put it up. Well, then plug everything in. I always start with this one right here, so that way you can move it around. Y'all can see the final product. Got black screws in there, basically. I mean, I put screws in them. You could have put the pins in them or whatever you want to put in them to keep them on. You could go back with the pins that's already in the Challenger doors, or however you want to do it. But this is how I did it. A lot of people ask, but that's how I did it. And everything worked, everything functional. You got the lock, unlock. That's it for the door panels. I haven't did the rears, but I got the rears, and I'm sure the process will be similar, if not easier for the rear. But when I do one, then I'll come back and let y'all know. So that's it for the door panels. Y'all stay on the lookout for the next video. Mopar Heaven is approaching. We got like 3 days until we leave, and I'm finna crank the rest of this workout. Stay on the lookout for the next videos. Stay on the lookout for me at Mopar Heaven.